Hi and welcome to another awesome tutorial, and today we'll be learning how to leverage AfterShip Returns Center analytics to evaluate your returns management performance. Awesome, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. Okay, so the first thing you'd want to do is you want to log into your AfterShip Returns Center account. And once you log in, you'll come up here to this page. And once you're here, go ahead and click on Analytics. Perfect. So this is your Analytics dashboard. All right, so let's find out how to use this Analytics dashboard. And so the first option is the date. So before you start, define the period you'd want to see the analytics of your return requests. So go ahead and click on it. And once you click on it, you'll see a calendar. So select the dates and see your analytics. Or you can use the date range and find analytics for the last 90 days, 30 days, 7 days, yesterday, or today. So go ahead and choose the one you like. I'll choose 90 days. And you can also use the calendar as well. So choose your dates if you want to do that. Also, in case you want to check out how much your returns management has improved in a certain period, make sure you define it and then click on this checkbox. And once you're done, make sure you click on Apply. Awesome. So as soon as you click on Apply, your returns analytics will be updated here automatically. And this basically shows you the number of return requests. So for us, that was 90 days. So we've had about 35 returns in the last 90 days. So about 10 or 11 every month. And our returns rate for the last 90 days is 5.49%. The value in dollars that we lost on returns, which is $2,974.13 in the last 90 days. With 35 returns. And finally, the revenue we saved from those 35 returns in the last 90 days or 3 months, which is $1,555.88. Next up, we've got the returns request. So this tells you how many return requests you've received on each day. So we have a graph below that shows us the number of returns in 90 days, which is 35, and also when we had those returns. So we've got details of that there. Moving on, we've got returns rate. So this tells you about your average returns rate, which you have for your selected period, which is 90 days. And you also have the graph for that below. Next up, we've got returns value. This tells you how much money you've refunded to customers after accepting their returned products, which in our case is $2,974.13 in the last 90 days or 3 months. And we also have a graph for that one below. And finally, we've got the saved revenue section. So that tells you how much revenue you've saved in your selected time period, which is 90 days, after approving customers' exchange requests. Now let's go back to returns request and let's click on View Details to see in-depth data. Perfect. So this shows you those 35 returns you've had in the last 90 days and their date. Awesome. Now let's go back and let's scroll down. Awesome. So this section is full of data that you can use and analyze to find out how you're doing when it comes to returns. Great, so let's find out. First up, return reasons. So this section basically outlines what reasons customers have mentioned while raising a return request in the last 90 days. And our biggest reason by over 18 customers was that it looked different to image on site. And so you can use this data to make sure you avoid returns and refunds in the future. So in this case, you should upload pictures that look like the actual product rather than false advertising, which usually ends up with a return. Next section, top returns by variant. So in this section, you can learn which variants of your products mostly get returned. So as you can see, the first product, the winter cardigan, is a bad product because we've had a whopping 25 returns for that product. So it's time you stop selling that product because almost every single sold off unit resulted in a return or refund. So it's time you stop selling that, and this section gives you that data. Next, we've got refund rate. So this tells you about your refund rate, and it also informs you how much you've refunded to store credit and original payment mode. So in our case, we've had over 14 customers who would rather have their money in their original payment method instead of store credit, and only 2 who chose to keep their money in our store. Moving on, we've got exchange rate. And this section tells you about your percentage for receiving exchange requests. So basically, we've got 12 customers who replaced their item with the same item. So they love the product, but because the previous one was faulty, they still trust your store, and so they want a replacement for the same product. And we have about 12 of those. And on the other side, we've got about 8 customers who had their product exchanged for other items. Next, we've got total refund. So this basically shows you how much money you've refunded. Again, in 90 days for 35 returns, we've refunded $182.86, which we refunded to their original payment method. Next up, we've got new revenue section, which is your customers exchanging for other items, basically choosing to keep their money in your store. And that's $182.33. And that's the amount you've generated as new revenue because your customers paid additional amount to exchange the received product with any other item, which has a higher price, so they ended up paying additional to cover the costs. So that's about $182.33. Next, we've got average resolution time, which is 7.64 days. And that's the time you take on average to provide resolutions to customers. Use this data to improve your store, maybe resolve their problems faster so they don't have to wait, and that will improve credibility and trust. And we have about 15 returns which were on auto approval. So that's about 42.86%. And if you have some feedback on AfterShip Returns Center analytics, please don't be shy and share what you like or dislike. And this will help us to implement the reports you'd love to see on our platform. And finally, the customer country and region. So this tells you which countries are you getting your maximum return requests from. So in our case, that's USA with almost 100%. And last but not least, if you love this data and you want to keep it, simply click on View Details on any of these sections. So right now we're on the Return Reasons section, and these are the details of each return. And to keep this data, just click on Export CSV, and you can do this for every section. And just by clicking on it, you get all the information stored in a CSV file. And that's a wrap of the tutorial. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And if you have any problems or any kind of issues, just let us know and we'll make sure we fix all your issues. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, good luck, and I'll see you next time.